Oh my god, yes, the systems! Are these the systems for the new, for Destiny?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. You're so dramatic. How are you liking it?
It's pretty visually stunning.
Okay, now my girl's looking pretty hot.
Let me see. What? Yeah.
Do you not agree?
As hot as a grandma. That's some MILF material right there. Oh, man.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I loved choosing the face.
You had a great time
amazing.
doing the outfit.
Yeah.
Wow. The last time I played a Bungie game was Halo. Yeah, well, it's pretty classic, but I was pretty excited because Halo was such a phenomenal game that really changed the industry for FPS. Right. And now we're coming to Destiny 2, which we were just playing.
Yes.
And
the graphics? What did you think of the graphics?
Actually, it eerily reminds me of Halo. The way that the style, the gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the graphics. It's definitely the mark of Bungie. It's really cool.
Yeah, I liked it.
I didn't get to play it that much, but I am definitely going to be investing some time into this game.
Okay.
And especially because we gamed on the new Coffee Lake chips. Coffee Lake!
Coffee,
oh, good thing it wasn't real coffee.
I'm sorry, Coffee Lake.
So these 3 chips were placed into the 3 systems that we gamed on today, earlier.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so when we chose the 3, actually they were all with different specs.
But yes, well, we're going to do an interesting thing today because the Coffee Lake chips came out at the beginning of the month, right?
Yep.
Well, yes, it's the end of November now, so the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
And everybody has been doing benchmarking and testing to see how well these chips perform on the latest titles.
Yeah.
Like Destiny 2.
Like Destiny 2.
What we're interested more in, though, or at least what I'm interested in is, okay, let's put all the specs aside.
Specs aside.
Right? Because numbers are numbers, but when it actually comes down to real gaming performance, what chip can I buy and do the games that I want to do without having to spend too much money and overkill it? You know what I mean?
Okay. So like taking into consideration what most people would care about.
Yeah.
Which is money. Like value how much you can get for your for whatever you have to spend.
Right.
And the experience.
Exactly. So let's get actual people to test this out.
Like men or boys?
Boys to men.
Boys to men. Yes. Are they coming in?
That's who we brought in today. Boy, no. The real gamers from the 90s. No, we brought in some.
We should do that though, like, you know, boys to men.
Gamer edition?
If they're down.
Yeah.
We're down.
If you guys are watching this, boys to men, we're
so
down. You come out here and we'll give you some free systems to game on.
And some cookies.
Yeah. We're going to do a random test where each of these chips will be placed in a different system. and we're not going to tell the gamers that are coming in what systems contain what chips.
Okay, and these are people who usually play games.
These guys
play Destiny 2
more than usually, but they're going to game on these blind systems, and they're going to tell us their raw experience of which systems are actually better than the other. So at the end of the day,
in terms of just their perception.
Yeah, their perception.
Yeah.
The smoothness of the gameplay. Is there any stutter? Is there any lag? Is there any tearing? Can you really tell the difference between an 8700K and an i3 8100? That's the question of the day. And from the results of that, maybe we can decide what kind of system a first-time builder or someone who's interested in upgrading to Coffee Lake can use to get the performance they want on their games. All right, well, let's jump to the test and see what these guys have to say about the performance of these systems.
Boys to men?
Boys to men.
Boys to men.
For games, I've been playing games since I was 12. I think the first computer game I played was in 1990. It was Wing Commander. The one on the left seemed like the best to me. And the one on the right seemed like it was the worst. The only one I had a stutter was on the one on the right. And then the one on the left, it had very, very smooth frame rates.
Oh, my name is Amy, and I like to play a racing game.
If you had to pick the best system, which one would it be?
Maybe first one, or no, maybe the left one and the right one.
Terrence, more than 20 years. Usually single player, campaign based, third person preference. The system on the left I thought was by far the best. Like, it was noticeably better. Well, first of all, visually it was smoother. Like when I was moving around, when I was turning the camera, like I could tell this is a clean system. Like I was like, I can play on this. If this was my system at home, I'd be like, yeah, this is fine. I can play with this, no problem.
It's singing. I think this game is fun. I used to play Counter-Strike with my friends when I was in college, which is a while ago. And I play League of Legends with my brother once in a while. I think the one in the middle or the one on the right are better than the one on the left because I experienced some stutter and lagging on the one on the left.
My name's Tom. I've been playing video games for, I don't know, 15 years. I like the system on the right a lot. It was just very comfortable and easy and everything worked fine. And yeah, the system on the left was probably the best.
So I began on the left one, but that was in the initial stage of the game. So there was not so much happening there, and also you were inside, right? So it was not that demanding. So and the biggest challenge was faced by the third system, the one on the right. If one of them would be the weakest one, then it's not the last one. It's not the one on the right.
How is this possible? Really, how is this possible? I just got out of the testing and I don't know what to say to you guys. I don't know what to say. 3 different systems with all the Coffee Lake chips, i3, i7, i5. And the winner of the blind test is this guy, i3. Yeah, I know you guys are probably all thinking right now like, oh, well, what are the specs of the system, and what are the monitors they played on, and all this stuff. And that's true. This also affects the quality of the results. We're doing a qualitative test, not so much a quantitative test. So we're going off raw experience, right? But it is really interesting that these 6 testers, all of them said that they prefer the performance of the i3 and then the i7 versus the i5. Now keep in mind we have different graphics cards paired with the i5 versus the 1080, which is in the i3 and the i7. So let's look at those 2 systems and kind of discuss this a little bit. I brought Edwin along with me. Edwin's from ASRock.
Hello everyone, I'm Edwin from ASRock.
Edwin is going to tell us a little bit about how do we interpret these results. So how did this, what the hell, how did this happen?
Okay, so this is very, very interesting results because, yeah, you know, the i5 one actually has a 1060, but the i3 and i7 both at 1080.
Yeah.
And the gamers cannot tell the difference.
Right.
Yeah. So The reason for that is in our old concept that you will need a i5 above, that's i5 and i7 if you want to go gaming. But in this generation, the Coffee Lake, the i3 actually has 4 physical cores. That's the same core count as the i5 from the Kaby Lake generation. So you have the same, basically almost the same performance for the Coffee Lake i3 and the Kaby Lake i5. So they're basically same performance.
Okay. So the new Coffee Lake's got more cores. That everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Any other factors that might have influenced the results of this test?
I think the main difference is maybe just a user experience, right? Because yes, you have the same graphic cards, but you have the different monitor and different keyboard, different mouse, or even headsets. So maybe that's kind of the user experience of the peripherals.
Right.
Okay, so
and also the game itself, right?
Yeah, also the game itself. So we're not saying i3 is better than i7. Yeah, but in terms of performance, I think it's i3 is definitely up there.
Yeah.
Compared to is that in terms of gaming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gaming on Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's make that clear. Destiny 2, which is a GPU-intensive game, we can't really tell the results, at least according to these testers.
Yeah.
But in terms of the new Coffee Lake chips, that's what everybody's here for.
Yeah.
What can you tell me, as a gamer, as someone who games regularly, if I'm looking at the new platform, what are some of the new things in the new chipsets? We have some motherboards here today. What are some of the new things that might affect my decision to purchase a Coffee Lake chip over the 7th generation Kaby Lake chips?
CPU.
Okay, so this is a Z370. Why don't you show it up close over here?
This one is actually our latest and also the best Z370 gaming motherboard from ASRock.
Okay.
So this one is a Z370 gaming i7. That's here.
Okay.
And what the difference about it is Coffee Lake CPU, more cores. That generally means more power consumption.
Sure.
Yeah, especially under heavy loading. That's heavy gaming, and also under overclocking.
Especially when paired with a Radeon.
Yeah.
we don't want that part in there. Okay.
That's a good one. So more cores, more power consumption. So for this generation, under our motherboard design, we strengthened the CPU VRM, the motherboard VRM. The VRM is basically the power supply for the CPU. That's here. Okay. So we put more power faces on the new motherboard, and also look at this, beefy heatsinks for the MOSFETs. Yeah. So this motherboard can actually support very, very high frequency of overclocking, and also very stable under heavy gaming.
Okay.
Yeah. And also another thing is, everybody knows the USB Type-C thing, just very popular right now.
Right.
Reversible, for very,
faster speeds, faster charging.
Yeah, and
better.
Your phones have Type-C header. Yeah, so it's very, very popular right now. So you can see this. Can I show it here?
Sure.
This metal header thing is actually a USB Type-C front header for your computer chassis.
Okay.
So, yeah, as we know, the Cooler actually just released some very beautiful high-end computer chassis that can actually support this kind of feature.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so overclocking, as a casual gamer, I'm not willing to go into the system, into the BIOS, and start tweaking the default settings and messing around with the voltage, because that kind of scares me a little bit.
Yeah.
But maybe there's some way to do some, preset overclocking with the new chips that would allow me to get a little bit more out of the system. Can you tell me more about that? Is there something like this available on the Coffee Lake chips?
Overclocking is kind of a scary part of improving the computer performance. That's the old concept, because in the olden days you have to tweak a lot of things. Yeah, so you have to tweak a lot of voltage, the CPU clock, the base clock, and everything, the ratio, a lot of things. But now you don't have to do that, because we actually have a CPU overclocking presets in our BIOS system.
Okay.
All you have to do is get into BIOS and choose what the desired CPU frequency you want. Save it, restart, and boom, you're done.
Sounds pretty simple.
Yeah. But keep in mind that you are increasing the CPU frequency, so that actually means you have to also improve the CPU cooling as well.
Right. So, what do you recommend in terms of cooling for the new chips?
Okay. So as we know, for the i7, the K series, the Intel will not give you a box fan cooler.
Sure.
So you have to buy a aftermarket CPU cooler. So let's say if you're just going to have a stable computer, stable rig, you can just choose like Cooler Master TX3. That's a very nice cooler. But you want to go extreme cooling, extreme overclocking, you might want to consider maybe water cooling.
Okay.
All-in-one water cooling solutions. Yeah.
So it really depends on how much I want to get out of the system and kind of what I want to use the system for.
Yeah.
But you know, as we just saw with the test results, which all had aftermarket coolers on them, you know, it's still pretty tough to tell the difference between the different chips.
You mean the temperature difference, or
no, the performance? The end factor is the performance, right?
Yeah, because for the cooling, if you are not hitting the throttle, the CPU throttle, basically you will get the same results.
Right.
But if you're going to overclock, once the CPU throttles, it will drop the CPU frequency.
Right.
I think to around 800 megahertz. That's very low. So you will definitely feel the lagging because of the less of the cooling.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming on the show today, Evan.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So, Dennis, did you go to the gym today?
I did.
Did you get a good?
I did.
Get a good burn?
I did.
Did you overheat?
Yes, I did.
So what kind of cooling did you use?
When I get overheated, I use liquid or air cooling, actually. Sometimes air, sometimes liquid. I don't know, depending on the day.
So that would be what? The fan versus the shower?
Yeah.
So what did you use
today?
today?
Or wash up, shower.
So what did you use today? Tell me you didn't just use air cooling. Oh, man. We do not recommend in normal situations that you use air drying after an intensive workout. But in the case of CPUs, it's a different story.
Yes.
So did you hear the results of the test we did today?
I did, actually. I was very shocked and surprised by it.
Yeah. So somehow the i3 and the i7 are toe-to-toe in terms of actual user experience on gaming on Destiny 2.
Right.
But
Kind of weird, but
the question still remains, if I'm a gamer who wants to play the latest titles and I buy the new Coffee Lake chips, I'm going to get one of those stock coolers in the package, am I not?
Yeah, no one uses the stock coolers. Come on, stock coolers. Stock coolers are not cool, okay?
Stock coolers, not cool.
Not cool.
So put it in the trash, put it on the fireplace. What do I do? Stock cooler.
Re-gift it for Christmas.
Christmas gift ideas #1, stock cooler you don't need. And when you gift that stock cooler, what do you want to replace it with?
Obviously, you want to use an aftermarket cooling product that gives you, maximize your performance in any kind of gaming situations that you're in, or your system. You want to keep the entire system cool. So in general, we do have two preferences for you. So you have the air cooling, which we are awesome at, and liquid cooling, which is equally awesome. So,
Okay, so in general, a gamer has two choices between air and liquid cooling for their system.
Correct.
In the systems we had running for the test, we actually used some of the newest air coolers from Cooler Master to run those tests. But in general, like if I'm thinking of doing light gaming, for example, I'm not going to be asking for top performance out of my system, but I do want a cooler that can handle moderate titles, right?
Right.
What would you recommend in terms of cooling solutions for that?
So I would recommend an air cooler for light gaming, as you put it.
I mean, you can use liquid cooling for it too, right?
Right, you could, but it just depends on the preference.
Okay.
So light gaming or heavy gamers, we could go with liquid or air, but depending on the models you choose determines how the performance is on the cooler.
Okay, so for light usage, if we want to go with air cooling, what would you recommend for that?
I would go with our Master Air MA610P.
Okay, so tell us about the 610P. What about this? What are some of the good goodies about this new cooler?
So this is our brand new air cooler that has the push and pull configuration. It comes with 2 fans. So you actually keeps the whole entire system cool, not just the CPU itself, as well as a 6 heat pipe. If you can see it back down here, it's continuous direct contact with 6 heat pipes that are closely mounted together. The other thing is that it comes with RGB fans and an RGB top cover that has unique cutouts on top.
This is the real point.
Yeah.
Because we all know, right? How much does RGB affect the performance of your games?
Tremendously.
It's huge, right?
It's humongous.
It's night and day. RGB,
yes.
The way to go for ultimate gaming.
Performance and the looks.
And the looks.
Yes.
So we're finally at the best part of the video, in my opinion.
Which is?
The full reveal.
The full reveal.
The full reveal.
The reveal of what?
The reveal of many things. But in particular, 3 of those things being the systems that we used for the blind gaming test.
Okay.
And those systems were very carefully put together to have all of the latest parts, and of course, the Coffee Lake chips. So I'm sure all of you are probably curious about how to build a PC like this, and also how you might go through the selection of the parts.
So we're going to teach you.
We're going to teach you that in the next episode. And in the meantime, roll the sexy footage.